into the main subject,
Yeah.
the meat and the
Yep.
potatoes.
Let's do it.
Becky,
Let's
lead
do it.
us into it. Lead us into it. This is
All
your guest
right.
show. This is you. I'll make a
Super. So
podcast
I
out of you
mean,
yet.
yeah, right. Like Chase mentioned my last time I was on the show, it's I'm a Nintendo girl. I like Nintendo games. I like, the stress-free world of friendly gameplay.
Her
One of
mom's
those
name is
games
Nintendo Nancy. Just a
that's not.
coincidence.
It's he's not wrong. I can't verify that, but he might be right. Um, yeah, one of my favorite games series that I enjoyed playing on the 3DS specifically for the Mario and Luigi Super Saga games. Thought the mechanics were awesome. I usually am not a fan of turn-based fighting, but Nintendo makes a way to make it fun, make it exciting,
They
keep
make
you
it
interested.
very fun.
Yeah, and I really enjoy that because usually I get real bored with turn-based games. But what? Yeah, you want to say something?
I was just gonna say I could turn you on to a lot of other ones that are similar to like that keep you active during turn based that are actually really good games.
I'm sure they are, and I will.
Yeah.
I will get that list from you. I
Yes,
will
you will.
because I heard Persona is good at
Dude,
that.
yeah,
But
I've been playing their
yeah,
newest one. It's fucking awesome.
yeah. I need to play those games. But
Yeah.
back to Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
A much simpler game.
So much.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
loved them. Loved the games, and so when they announced a new one finally, because I think what the studio that put them together or whatever was responsible for the Mario and Luigi games like disbanded, went
Disbanded,
bankrupt. I
yeah.
don't know.
Something
Whatever
like that.
happened.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited when I heard there was another one coming back.
That they just threw at us. They just threw it at us in the middle of the year. Just boom.
Yeah,
You're getting this in
just
a
like,
couple
oh,
months.
by the way, like a
Yeah.
new Mario and Luigi game. It's like, what? And I keep calling it Mario and Luigi Brotherhood, which is really funny because I imagine like Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah.
but like with Mario and Luigi.
But with Mario and Luigi.
So I was like, shit, I keep messing this up.
That could be
So I
fun.
think
That could be really fun, actually.
you should put that on our on the cover for this episode. Is
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi on?
as as the alchemist
Yes.
brother. Let me have some
Yes.
fun in the on the Canva and we'll
Microsoft
see.
Paint.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey now, come on.
Sorry. But anyway, yeah, what I'm here to talk about is Mario and Luigi Brothership. And I'll tell you, I haven't played a lot yet. As I told you, I think I fought the first boss, and I'm on the next like little current or whatever, however you
Sure.
travel on the ship. Yeah.
Yes.
And so here's my first brief overview of the game.
Yeah.
Basically, you are absorbed into this other world. No, I don't really have a lot of details on that yet. Don't know why we got absorbed into
Yeah.
this other world.
God
But
just chose you.
huh?
God just chose you.
It's
Basically.
true. You're just chosen, like, and poof, you're in this other
Everybody.
land, and
Something must be happening because everybody is getting pulled in.
Yeah, right. And like
Yeah.
you slowly figure that out as time progresses. Like you run into toads, and you're like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, what are you doing here? And you're like, I don't fucking know. We're on an island that's moving 100 miles an hour in the ocean right now. Somebody tell me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's they don't really give you a lot to work with. I'm sure the pieces will start to fall together as the game progresses.
Sure.
I'm hoping.
The beauty of Mario games is it doesn't really have to.
It doesn't. Like,
it doesn't.
you're just there to make people's lives better, I guess. Like, hey, our islands broke apart. Can you help us? And of course, Mario's like, it's a me, and he goes and
Those
saves the
motherfuckers
day.
are always just getting places. Who knows
Right,
where the
and
pipes lead?
oh my gosh, yeah. And Luigi is a goofball as ever. Like every cutscene with Luigi, he's like hurting himself, or oh no, look at me, I'm tripping and falling, and yeah.
He's funny.
Oh, Luigi, he's funny. He's classic.
So you laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here are my thoughts so far.
Okay.
The gameplay, the fighting style, I like. However, I am several hours into the game. I think you get the first bros attack, which is like the special attacks that take BP to actually use. You get
Mm.
the first one after you beat the first boss. So like you go the whole first arc of the game without having any special moves, unless I screwed up. You're giving me a weird look.
No, I think you're right. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
you.
think how long it was.
I didn't have
I've
any
had mine
special
for a
moves.
while now, but
Okay.
I remember being like, yeah, you're right. That did
I'm
take a
just
while.
real far into the game and I'm tired of taking out enemies one by one. Like, and the fighting mechanics, they're fun, but they're very repetitive right now because I only have jump and I finally got the hammer. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, you have that down pat. You're like, okay, A, B, hit,
Yes.
B, A, hit, like
Yes.
over and over and over again.
Hmm.
It's it,
A little long that they do that. And even when you get your first
yeah.
throws, it's still only something that can hit one person.
Right, Mario's
Um,
only hits one. Luigi's does hit all of them, but it's like you gotta wait to use Luigi to use it.
yep.
So I'm a little frustrated at that aspect because I really wanted to have some more cool moves because I
I
think the fighting is one of the best parts of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
will say you get a little farther on and they add another battle mechanic. Like pretty far in to still be like, we're gonna give you a tutorial of this game mechanic. But you do get more like things and perks and they're kind of like
good.
badges sort of, but
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
the in the review or whatever. It's like a little plug that
Similar
you
to
plug it
that.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that has been helpful because I
Yeah, I
agree it
haven't
was.
gotten there yet.
I think that's what kind of pulled me away from playing it as much as I would have liked to as well, is that I was just like, okay, I like this. Like this is fun to even just jump and hammer and dodge. Like it's still
Yeah.
fun. But
Right.
I was like, I could use a little more. Especially comparatively. This game for me personally comes on the tail end of it's been a couple months, but my just blast that I had playing Thousand Year Door remake.
Oh, such a good
Um
game.
and
Such
like
a good game.
such big shoes to follow, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And it
That was a
wasn't
perfect game.
and, like, I'm still having a great time, but I'm not having as fun as I was when I was playing that. And I
Right.
think that's
Right.
why, because like, I was obsessed with that. Things are a little different in my life right now. Maybe I can't be as obsessed with it, but it's also just like, you know?
It's almost like it's not it's
And
like
I like
surface
it.
level deep. Yeah, it's good. I don't want to say I don't like the game. It's I'm having a fun time, but
Yeah,
I'm not invested like I was with Thousand Year Door, the replay even. Like
yeah.
I'm invested. Like I that game is I
I
don't
did
know if
everything
deep
I
is the
could.
right word. Right. And like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I there's more to Brothership, I think, that's coming because you
Mhm.
have, all the challenges. Like, I finally got side quests, so I'm glad there's some side quests going on. I like that.
There gets to be too much, but they are, yeah.
Oh, no, no,
Yeah,
that
there
sucks.
gets to
But,
be a
like,
lot, and they're
and
all like, eh.
oh, no. Dang
It's like
it.
it's stuff to do. It's stuff to
Yeah,
do. You know what I mean?
it
It's to
is.
get
It's
it's
content, but
it's
I
yeah.
don't want content. I want like
No.
value added. I want good rewards because most of the rewards I've been getting are like, hey, here's a syrup. Like I don't need another fucking syrup. Like Mario and
Sometimes
Luigi
you
are just
start
walking
getting some
around.
nice like hammers.
Yes,
Like I
I'm
found shit
hoping.
like that now. But
Yeah,
like I said, I'm
that's
about
good.
10 hours in.
Yeah,
Um but
yeah.
yeah, the combat does pick up a lot more
That's good.
in the
That's good
latter
because
half.
I'm so and the other thing, and I'm dissing it a lot because I
Right.
feel
No,
like I
it's
need to
good to get
talk
these
about it.
things out of the way.
I got it. The enemies on each because you go to smaller islands, like that's where you go, and then you have to hook that island up to the main mothership island, um, and the enemies on all the islands are very much the
You
same.
mean
Like
Brothership Island?
Brothership, yes.
Sorry.
Uh, but no, I don't know if you noticed, but every island, like you have two or three maybe different types of enemies. So I'm like, oh look, another freaking Seedle. Like
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, yeah,
fight
yeah,
these
yeah.
fucking Seedles. Oh, these Seedles have little droplets of water on their heads. Oh, but
They
they
can
do the same
heal.
exact thing. Oh, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the mechanics for fighting them all are the same. Um, and then my next gripe, I like man, I for those of you listening, it's a good game. Like if you want a good game, you should get the game. But I'm just telling you, don't get your hearts set for like a new Mario and Luigi game that's gonna blow your minds because it probably won't. It's decent. Anyway, the Luigi moments. the Luigi. What do you call him? The Luigi. There's a
Oh
name for
yeah,
him.
yeah. There is.
Shit.
It's an L. It
Luigi.
starts with an L. It's a Luigi logic. There we go.
Luigi Logic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You don't
there.
like it?
I don't. I
No.
don't like it because it's not gameplay. It's just like they introduce issues like gameplay, like problems or puzzles, if you will, that they solve for you. You don't even have to try. Like,
Yeah.
oh, how am I going to solve this conundrum? And it's just like Luigi, and he just goes and solves the problem, and you're like, okay, that was unnecessary. Like, there's no need for
There's
that
no
in
need
the
for a
game.
cutscene of him like thinking.
No.
Yeah, that never
Yeah.
stops.
Oh my god, I'm just like,
I've
all right,
started to
please
kind
give
of
me.
just laugh at it because I feel like it's either I laugh at it or I hate it.
Yeah, you're right. It's now in battles, like his little like, oh hey, now we can do a super move. I get that. That
Right.
makes sense. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because like I think that mechanic is fun because you have to hit the buttons at the right
You have
time
to
or do
play the
whatever, and
game.
it's
Yeah.
exciting. You gotta
Yeah.
play the game. But when he has a Luigi Logic moment in the middle of the game, you do nothing. You just watch a cutscene and he solves a puzzle. Like, let me, the player, solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, you can even, I don't know. I was just kind of like, that takes away
Yeah.
from the game a little bit.
You start to it starts to do a little bit. The thing I just did, it was like he hit a button for me, and then me as Mario actually did
Mm-hmm.
like the other work I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So like they start to utilize it as best as they can, but you're right, it's not as good as it used to be.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know there's more to it. I'm unlocking more things. I finally have like the UFO move, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
fun. Like that you can switch in and out of that jump mode. So,
But you're right,
um,
it does take a long time to get to those points, probably longer than some people are willing
yes.
to give it.
Yeah, so it's been a ride. Like
Things
the
that you
one
got
thing that keeps
immediately in the other ones.
right, or at least like enough to keep you satisfied until like I don't know, like I stuck with it for a while in the beginning because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the hammer. Like clearly, I'm gonna get the hammer soon, and I kept
You want the
seeing
hammer.
hammers. I kept
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
hammers. I'm like,
I
get the
know,
hammer.
and you
Like
see,
pick up
I'll
the
get this
fucking
hammer.
hammer.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
you're like, no, not yet, not yet.
No, I'm using this
Take
hammer. Damn it. Okay.
damn it,
Yeah.
okay, find another hammer.
And then the
But
hammer comes and it's more kind of redundancies just with a hammer now.
exactly. Like, oh, good. Now I get hammer, and it's fun. It's the fight scenes are satisfying. The rewards, like I don't know, like the damage that you can do is satisfying. Dude, I was looking at some of the challenges. Like, you have like your main quests, your side quests, your challenges on the title screen,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like there's some. I was starting to get re-excited again when I saw like all those challenges you could like win rewards from, and one of those challenges was like deal 1,000 damage in a single attack, and I was like, fuck yes! Like someday we're
Damn.
gonna be able to do an attack that does 1,000 cumulative damage in a single attack, and I was like, all right, so now I'm doing like 20, 30 damage per attack. I'm like, someday
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
That
a mage,
that
like, you
blows
know what I
my
mean?
mind. Well, cuz I'm 10 hours in and I'm doing like just about 100
Right.
sometimes. So,
Right. So like,
interesting.
for a super attack, I'm sure it's going to be like huge, like could even be like a Luigi attack in a boss fight or something. But
Yeah.
still, like 1,000 like I was like, oh, I'm getting excited because you have so much further to
Yeah.
go. Leveling up is fun. I like leveling up. I wish you could do a little bit more with picking what stats to increase. Like you can only do that like once you
Yeah.
hit those like rank levels, which
Mhm.
is weird.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
in the other games they let you personally pick which things got boosts.
right,
Yeah.
but you don't
They
really
give you
have
like
that.
yeah, you get a little something like that. Yeah, they definitely t- twisted it up a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, you have
You
to
go
wait
with it
until
though. That's the thing.
you do.
These changes aren't the worst, but they are changes.
There changes. There
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
Like I like the skill tree that you get to. It's not really a skill tree, but when you get to like I'm level 8 or 9, so I got to
Mhm.
like the turtle
Yeah.
shell rank or whatever, and I
Right,
was like,
right,
oh, I
right.
get to pick a cool thing. Like, oh, cool, I got. But you get to pick one, and then you have to now have to wait till level 15 to pick something else.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that
why
was like,
I gave Luigi
oh,
and Mario both extra experience. I was like,
Yes, me
and that
too.
did make the next, because I think I'm level 17 right now, but it made the next
Okay.
batch of levels go a lot quicker.
It's
Yeah.
like, dang, dang, dang,
Yeah.
dang. But yeah, I picked the exact same thing for both of them. I was like, y'all are leveling up faster this
It's a
time. Come on,
smart
let's
take.
go.
Yeah, it's a good way
Yeah,
to start.
right, right. So, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts? What are your
Um,
thoughts?
well, I mean, I think I've kind of sprinkled in some of my thoughts just in what, compare with what you've had to say, but yeah, I really am enjoying it. I'm having a great time. I think it's very pretty. I think a lot of my thoughts come from like stemming back to the people that just talked about seeing the IGN review and some of the
Oh
differences.
yeah,
It's one of those things, like kind of like I said with Star Wars, like I see where people might have a problem. Like I see the problem. It just doesn't bother me as much. Other than he compared it to like Pokemon looking, and I was like, I,
I don't get that at
I
all.
think his Switch is broken because I think it runs like
Somebody needs to
there
tell
might
him.
be a little bit of a frame rate issue, but certainly not a noticeable
No,
one. Like, because
and
Zelda
I
had a
play it on my
noticeable one and it was
TV.
still fine. Oh God, yeah. If you
Yeah,
play it, I played on my Switch, and
yeah.
yeah, I
I
mean,
see no issue.
I don't know what he was talking about. So like things
Nope.
like that. I definitely see where you're coming from with it, taking so long. Like, I don't think I thought about it until you said it, but now that you said it, I'm like, yeah, it did take a long time to get a lot of shit that, like, in the Game Boy Advance one, you can do pretty much right away. Like, the fact that you even had to say, like, you were pretty far in to get the UFO thing, it's like, you can do shit like that in the first one pretty quick.
Right,
Um,
right.
I was happy to see that you can control Luigi, not like you used to
Yes.
be able to, so I get why that guy was mad, but he also made it seem like you couldn't even hit B and it would make Luigi jump. So I
Right.
was like,
That's what
I
I
was worried
saw.
about that.
And not
But
even be
that
able to
was
like swing a hammer or
yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I see the issue because he can do a lot of stuff himself, but a lot of that I kinda like
It's convenient.
it's convenient.
It's convenient.
It's
Yeah.
inconvenient, like, in some ways, but most of the time, it's like, yeah, I don't wanna have
Yeah.
to jump with Mario, jump with Lou, like, if he can just follow
No.
me, who the
And
fuck cares? So I
I'll
kinda
be
call that a
honest,
quality life improvement.
yeah, I like that too, because like if you especially when you have to pull those dang turnips out of the ground. Like, hey,
Sure, send him to
Luigi,
do it. Yes.
Jeeves, just
Yes.
pick the turnips, you know? It's
Yes.
great.
And
Yeah.
I think that because like, that's where it's really good. The thing that turns you off, like, you personally and a lot of people, and I guess me too, is the Luigi logic thing of him like doing things like that. But I think this is like the natural progression of like Nintendo, just like they didn't have the ability for Luigi to just do his own thing back when they made it for DS,
Right.
Game Boy. That so now they're just like, this is how we upgrade this. And some of those upgrades or changes might not be for everybody, but Nintendo was like, we're gonna make Luigi do stuff because we can now. You'll buy it
Exactly.
and you will.
Yeah, it's
And you
true. I'm
did,
not gonna
and
not buy it.
right, of
I
course.
freaking pre-ordered it. Like I'm that
Yeah,
person because I'm like,
yeah.
oh, it's a new game. I gotta play it. I don't care. Even if that I read that IGN review and my like heart sank a little bit, but I
Mhm.
still would have freaking bought the game. I would have.
Same,
I would
same.
have.
Same thing happened to me. I saw that review and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
no."
I know it was so
But it
harsh.
definitely motivated me to go look at other reviews, and most other people were very positive. But,
Right.
like, that being the first one, I was just like,
Oh
"Oof."
my god, and usually IGN's one I lean on pretty hard. So I was like, I even looked up the guy who wrote it to see like what other games did he review,
Yeah,
just because I was like, maybe this
things
guy's
you
just on
agree
his
with.
rocker or he's
Yeah.
pissed off at the world. I don't know.
He makes
But
some good points, but I also disagree with him.
yeah,
I'd say
I'm
at its
so glad you
worst, it's a
texted me.
7. Like, at worst, it's a 7,
At
you
worst,
know?
yeah, at
A
worst,
a
yeah. I
5
forget
is
what he gave
mood.
it. What, a 5? Yeah, bad.
Cinco. And, like,
Cinco,
I've
not
seen things
good.
about that, like, everywhere, and seems like most people are at least having a fun time, but, like
Yeah,
with Star Wars, when I see there's issues, I gotta at least talk about them and
right.
choose whether or not I still like it, and I'm having a fun time. But
Good.
I do think that stretch of, like, time to get things going is why I haven't played it as much. But it's pretty.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
gorgeous.
I think the ship moves a lot faster than the review also gave it credit for, because like it's like, hey, go do other shit while your ship goes from point A to point B. I'm in the middle of doing some little shit, and it's like, hey, yeah,
Oh, hey, here you go.
you've already been on this current, and you're at an island. You should probably go back and get on the telescope. Like, holy
Right.
fuck, Jesus, this thing's flying. So a little, honestly, they give me a little more time with that kind of shit.
Dude,
But
that ship, like, moves.
moves.
Just look at the one. You're just like, oh my god, if somebody fell off of this ship, they're fucking dead.
And there
Like,
just keeps
they're drowned.
more people. There's more people every day. Every time you save
Right?
an island, um,
Like, you're just like, all right, guys, we got to put up some guardrails or something because we're going to lose them.
something, because one bump and
It's, oh
half
my
of
god, over.
society, all the good people in society currently are dead.
Yeah.
You better hope one of those birds swoops up and takes you away, because
Oh, one
fuck.
thing, and I don't know if you have an answer for this. So, in these games, especially in like the Mario and Luigi or even Paper Mario games, Mario RPG, they all have
Mhm.
very witty, or maybe no, maybe witty is the wrong word, very punny dialogue, right? Like this, like Mario and
I think
Luigi
you were right with
Brothership,
witty.
they're chock full of puns on
Yeah.
electricity and things like that. Like it's just every single
Yeah.
bubble
Yeah.
is full of puns, right? There's always something that they're like saying that you're like, ah ha ha, electricity, current, like, oh, it's so funny. How do we translate? Because like obviously this is made in multiple different languages. How does that translate? How do you? Because like English, like they're using the English language, right,
Sure.
to make these puns and these jokes. Like makes sense because they're the same word for both things, but in other languages that's not true.
Right.
How do they make it work? How do they make that read like across different languages? Do you?
I think that sometimes I really don't have an answer, but I do think that sometimes, especially with like English dubs of anime and stuff. So
Right.
I get what you're getting at, but I do not have an answer, because it's also something I've pondered. Um,
And it's every phrase that they say, every freaking text bubble has some
yeah,
sort of like pun in it, and maybe it's just like super dialed down for the other languages, but like man, how do they
yeah. I
make
don't
it
know.
work?
I feel like you'd have to talk to somebody who knows Japanese and has played the Japanese game, and like they'd have to compare and contrast with you on that, because yeah, you're
Right?
right. Puns are not puns and jokes in general are not are different for
Yeah.
every culture. So
And it's
damn.
yeah, and it's not just Japanese and English. It's
Right,
they
right,
make these
right,
games
right.
in all different languages. Like I
Yeah,
don't understand, but
yeah.
I
Maybe it's
maybe it's
just
just
maybe it's just not as funny in other
it's just
languages.
like super serious.
People are
Like
just like,
there's no,
"What are they talking about?" Like sometimes some anime dubs, they'll be like, "Listen, you want the Japanese script? We're gonna do it." And as English speakers, you're like, "Why the fuck would they be talking like that?" Maybe that's how it is with these Mario games. I
I
don't know.
guess so. I don't know. I don't know.
I
But
It's a good
yeah,
thought. But you do think it's a funny game? Are you still laughing at the jokes?
I'm like, oh, that's clever. Every once in
Yeah,
a while, you know,
yeah.
it's good. Like the writing
I think Thousand
is
Year Door was
adorable.
funnier, but I think this is
Yes.
still like, I think that one opened my heart up to this kind of humor a little more, so that this one I can just take and smile and play.
Yeah, it's nothing that really surprises me. I'm never like, oh my god, that was so funny. It's more just like,
Yeah.
oh haha, like hee hee.
Ah. And that's all I want. That's all I
Yeah.
want from a Mario game. Like I don't
Yeah.
expect fucking belly busters. Even when I
Right.
played the ones I really like, I'm not like, oh my god, I'm gonna tell that joke at work tomorrow. It's just funny. It's
Yeah.
like Avatar humor. You just roll with it because you like the people involved. So you
Exactly.
feel like you know them. Who do we know?
Yeah.
On this earth, there's probably a few people I can say I feel like I know as well as I know Mario and Luigi. So like,
Right.
I don't know.
It's true.
I've pretty
Although,
much known them as
do you
long as I can remember.
do you think the way that they make the Italian like they just say like basically gibberish, but when they talk, do you?
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah,
Italian. Like, do you think
yeah.
that's like a little bit like
I don't know.
derogatory?
I don't
I'm
know.
just like, how
I
do
think
Italians feel about this?
I think it's okay
I'm
because
gonna movie.
everybody talks like that, not just Mario and Luigi. So like it gets a pass, but it does sound with them, yeah, a little like
No, they're clearly
Bibbidi
just
bobbidi.
speaking in.
Mario. Luigi. Blah, 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 blah.
Like if you would
Yeah.
do that, like making fun of like Japanese or Chinese language, it would be racist. And here we are. Well, they're, you know what I mean? It just, I
I
don't
think
know.
they blend it with like it's very simmy. It sounds like Sims talking, so you
It
kind of just
does,
roll with
yeah.
it. But I agree. I thought the same thing. Like the first time I heard it, I immediately thought of the Family Guy bit of the guy of him being like a bibbidi bobbidi beebidi.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I don't know. I just thought that was like, that's a little.
that's because Nintendo doesn't abide by PC culture. They're like,
They
this is
don't.
what we do. You are all the motherfuckers playing this very, stereotypical Italian plumber character. You're in. We're not changing now, and
Nope.
I don't expect them to.
No, I
And
don't either. I don't want them to.
there are some things I would like them to change a little. I've seen people talking about this online a bit, and it's something I get why this change happened, but I also agree. But like sometimes I hit A, or sometimes I'll hit B for Luigi to attack, and I have to hit A to select his
Oh
attacks.
my
And
god,
but when he
yes.
does
That's
the
a
attack,
pain in the
he's B.
ass. It's a
It's
pain in the
hard.
ass.
For new
Ugh.
players, for people who have never played the series, I get why. Because A is a select button. They can see the difference, but they program the
No.
rest of us to be like, Luigi jumps with
B.
B
B.
in.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
I've effed up so many times because I'm
me
like,
too.
oh god damn it!
Me
Like I
too,
back out
man.
of
Me
the
too.
attack because I'm like, no, B, like you, Luigi,
It's
you're
not the
B.
worst thing in the world, and
No,
I
it's
get
not.
it. But like, man, does it like fuck me over sometimes because I'm just like,
Yes, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen people talking about it on Reddit. I was like, okay, yeah,
Oh,
we're at least those of us who've played the other ones. It's like that's the button that makes Luigi jump and
yes.
select
And
and do his
select
shit.
B. He is
Yeah,
B.
yeah.
Gosh.
So
Oh,
that's
I'm glad
hard.
I'm not the only one. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people want them to
that's
patch
hard.
in like the controls, like to be changeable, and I'm just like, Nintendo doesn't do patches, baby.
Oh
They've been
no.
around since
There's
before patches.
no, they don't do that. There is no
The, sh-
customization in the
the ship's
Nintendo
got
world.
holes in it. They're fucking sailing it. They don't
They're
care.
sailing.
They're like, we've been boating since the 80s. Fuck off.
You're either on or you're off.
But we have all this good shit on our boat, so it looks like you're staying. And you're like,
Exactly.
I guess so.
Oh
I will buy a
yeah.
Pokemon game that doesn't work.
I still
Because at
liked
least.
that game. I liked
Me
that
too.
game.
Me
I
too. I
liked
love
it. I
that
had a
game.
lot of fun. I had a lot
It's
of
a
fun with that
fucking
game.
mess, but it is fun.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
great game.
mess. It's a mess, but I'm
It's
having a good
it's an
time.
absolute mess, but it's fun. And
God.
Nintendo gets some passes this time, and I feel like this one, it doesn't live up to the hype, but it's still really good.
Hmm.
If it was
Yes,
between getting this or never having another one of these games again, I will take this.
absolutely,
I will
absolutely. It's not.
absolutely
They
take
didn't. They did
it. And
a. They did a good job.
it might keep like neither of us are when you really think about it, I've heard the stories about 30 hours. None of like it took you, like you said, 4 hours before the bros attacks came in. And
Something like that.
it took me about 8 hours ish before I got the plug thing. Like it's still
Yeah,
giving me new mechanics 10 hours in. Maybe by the end of the game, there'll just be so much new shit that's added by the time you get there that it's like maybe they took that kind of RPG approach instead of being like you get everything right
everything
away
at
and it just
once.
gets better. No, you just progressively get better until you're just
Yeah,
doing it. Maybe the build makes it better. We don't know that. We might have to come back at the end and be like, actually, by the time we play through the whole game, fucking awesome. Fucking
yeah. It
awesome.
might be. It might be
If
doing
anything,
1,000 damage per hit. Yeah.
sure. If anything, we can just agree that the pacing's a little off.
There we go. That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Pacing's a little off. Doesn't move as fast as I would like it to get good.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
still a solid game.
Still a pretty solid game. I'm not playing anything else while I'm playing. Like sometimes I'll bounce between games.
Hmm.
I chose this
You're a
to be like
monogamous Mario and Luigi
I
Brothership player. I
yes,
like it.
yeah, at least until I finish it, and then I'll go back to playing other things. But I have a lot of respect for Mario games in general, so I really
Yeah.
like to give them their turn. Mario has many times in my life taken control of what I plan to be doing. Last year, Spider-Man 2 for PS5 and Super Mario Wonder came out on the same weekend. So I got them both. And I was like, yeah, I'll play a little Mario, but I'm going to fucking lose my life to Spider-Man. I have
Mm-hmm.
not finished Spider-Man. I'm not
Oh
even that
my
far in
god.
Spider-Man. I could not stop playing Super Mario Wonder. I was just having
Really?
such a good time. Such a good time. Yeah,
I've not
and
even played it because it
it's
just
not really that great, but it's just
yeah,
fun. Like when it
fun.
comes to like intrigue, like Spider-Man's great, and there's just so much. But with Mario, there's not
You
so
just pick
much,
it up and you play it. It's
and you
simple.
and it's
Life's
I've been
simple.
once again I've been playing these games. We've known these guys our whole lives, so it's just gameplay
Dude,
that I just love.
dude, I thought about this the other day. Remember when we would come over to my house, we'd get
Hmm.
a giant freaking tub of like Utz party mix, and we would
Nintendo
just
Nancy would always
play.
bring them out.
Yes, you would, Nintendo Nancy, and we
I
would
saw.
play the Lost Levels on the
Hmm.
Wii.
Yeah, I
Remember
do
that? Like
remember that.
we would just
Of
like
course I
freaking
do.
pass the remote. We
Yeah,
got
just
pretty far in that. I think we got to
we
like
got pretty far.
World
We didn't
4 or
finish it, but
5.
we
No,
did pretty well.
that was a fun time. We would just
That
oh,
was
that
pretty
was good.
fun. That was pretty
Yeah,
fun. I'd like
but
to see
yeah, you
Jared take
saw.
a stab at that now. I bet he could do a lot better. Well, we could all
Maybe
probably
we
do a
might.
lot
We
better.
prob
Maybe.
well, it would take a minute
Mm,
because
yeah.
it's more memorization than it is like skill on that
Yeah.
game. Because
Yeah, we
you
really
have to
did have to
remember
just
what's coming next.
yeah,
Because
you're right.
nobody in the right mind can just like play it through the first time like piece of cake.
Yeah, that was
No.
nothing. I agree. But compared to that, like Super Mario Wonder is not that like nowhere near that hard. It's a breeze of a game. Like there's some
Yeah.
challenging stuff, but like modern Mario side scrolling is it's a guilty pleasure more than it is like a competition.
Right. It's not a challenge.
And then the same thing happened for me when Thousand Year Door came out. Thousand Year Door dropped the same weekend as Hellblade 2 came out. I was
Mm-hmm.
so excited for Hellblade 2. I was gonna take off work to play Hellblade 2. Like I had all this stuff set up. It's not a long game, so I was like, I can just do it. I started playing Paper Mario, and I have not finished Hellblade 2, but I
There's
played
something
the fuck out
special.
of Paper Mario.
There's something special about Nintendo. There's just something special. And
Yeah.
that's why I call me basic. But
Hmm.
listen, I like what I like and it gives me comfort. And that's what I
Even when
need
they're
in
not
a
the
video game.
best, they're still
Yeah,
really fucking good.
they're still
And when
really
they're
fucking
the
good.
best, you're just like,
Oh
fuck.
my god.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of games that I think are as good as well, I've Tears of the Kingdom. Um but dude, Paper Mario, I had such a good time with Thousand Year Door. It became one of my top 10 probably favorite video games of all time. Almost immediately.
This
I
wasn't
was
the first
so
time you played through it, right?
This was the first time I played through it. I played it a little on
Really?
GameCube back when it came out, not a lot. I
Oh
wasn't into it.
shit.
I wasn't
So
into it at all. I had all these fucking Mario RPGs when I was younger. Like I had Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I played them, but they weren't like my favorite kinds.
holy
And
shit. So this
the Mario and
I wish
Luigi games are the ones that kind of got me into the RPG. Like I
yeah.
played those on Game Boy and DS, so I was like, "Oh, Mario RPGs can be fun." But
Oh
then
my
I
god.
played fucking Thousand Year Door like for real.
Holy shit, I didn't know this was your first like I wish I could
First full playthrough was when that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
oh oh man, that's amazing. This is
Hey,
like my
go into the
favorite
Nerd Shit in the
one-time
Dark
playing.
archives. You can hear me talk about it in the
Sorry.
one
Yeah,
episode
that's
right
great.
after. Like
Oh
I
shoot.
I did everything you could do in that game, and then I
Awesome.
finally set it down because I had such a good time. The combat, the
Oh
gameplay,
god.
even the way
The dialogue.
the platforming goes in the paper form, like the dial,
Mhm.
everything. I
It was
was
a work of art.
it, and that's why I think I can't say as much like that for Brothership is because it's so soon since I've had that experience with a Mario game that it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, this. I kind of went into this thinking like, oh yeah, 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 I'm gonna get that Paper Mario feeling again, and it's like it scratches that itch,
It's
but
yeah.
it's not perfect.
No.
I'm
It's
not
not
dying to
Thousand Year
get to my
Door.
Switch. Like, there's not
Right.
points in my day where I'm like, okay, I gotta play this.
Mhm.
Whereas 1000 Year Door, I was like, I can't put this fucking game down. There have been a
Right.
number of games in the past
Ugh.
couple of years that when I finish, I go, I can finally get my life back. That's one of them. That is one of them. I say that sort of often, but like only to the ones that I can't put down. And they're all Nintendo games. Fire Emblem, I played through a Fire Emblem game a couple months back. That did the same thing. Tears of the Kingdom, you could say, gave me a fucking renaissance into just playing video games in general.
Oh,
It's
God.
Nintendo knows something, man. Nintendo
They
knows
do.
something.
They do.
Even when they're not their best, they're still pretty
They're
good.
still
I
pretty
just want to
good.
stress that because I feel like a lot of what we've said today sounds kind of negative
Negative,
about this
yeah.
game,
Yeah.
but we do like it.
Sorry.
It's just
Yes.
there's better.
Yes. Yeah. No, I very much like it. I'm probably gonna play it a lot more. Like that is like you. It's the only
I
game I'm playing
intend to
right
finish
now.
it. Hmm.
I do as well. I do as well. So
It's good to have a game that you're just like, this is the one I'm focusing on, and it takes
yeah.
a type of game. Like if it wasn't that good, we wouldn't give it that.
Mm-mm. No,
But we're
I would easily put it down and be like, I don't have time for this because I don't have time for that. But it's
yeah, go
yeah.
sure. Like it's one that I play at work. Whereas Paper Mario was one that I played at work, at home, on the
Hmm.
bathroom, in my bed at night, like anywhere I could get a
Nonstop.
fucking second.
Gotta play Mario.
I got home
He's
from
that
work
sweet
early
paper.
one day and I did the whole 100 down the fucking tube
Oh my
challenge, fought
gosh,
the
that
dragon
is.
at the end. I was like, I'm just
Ugh.
gonna play for about 20 minutes. I played for 2 fucking hours. I killed
Hell
that
yeah.
motherfucker. Fuck, it
Nice.
was just so much fun, man. So much fun.
What do you get
And
for beating that? I forget.
what do you fucking get? I think you get some kind of badge. I think you get
Yeah.
some kind of like badge that does like double damage or
Oh hell yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one thing I do enjoy playing it through this time, I know we're talking about Paper Mario, but like
it's
when I was a
Mario.
kid and I played it, I did not use the badges like I probably should have. Like I wasn't that
Oh god.
strategic. Like
Yeah.
playing it now as an adult with like a brain. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like badges, 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 badges. Like, and I
Yeah.
just, oh my god, I love it so much. Like
Yeah.
I forget
Yeah.
what badges I have equipped right now, but they're like I
I
do
haven't
so
looked
much
in a
damage.
while.
Like I hardly ever have to go into 2 rounds of combat because I'm just
Yeah.
like OP. But I
There's a
love it.
and that's where Paper Mario is also like one up on this one because it's like there's so many combat things. It's you and just another partner, but you also have multiple partners to choose from. Like the
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics in Paper Mario is just like it's so much. Whereas Mario and
Yeah.
Luigi, they essentially just do the same thing.
Right.
Still fun, but it's like oh, and like you only have like there are so many different kinds of hammers, different kinds of jumps in Paper
Right.
Mario.
Right.
Like and like
Like
there's different
yes.
kinds of hammers in this, but they're just hammers that give you more
Different amounts of
attack.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah. As opposed
Right.
to like different things. And these plugins kind of do that, but still not to the
To that level.
quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I don't know if Nintendo right now is just like focused on making these games simple for like the younger generation, but at the same time, like I feel like the younger generation is even better at video games now than we were because they grew up with iPads and tablets and everything
Jesus.
else like we didn't. You know what I mean? Like
That's a
they
thought. Yeah, that's definitely a thought.
why but like they should be more challenging instead of simpler in my opinion. Like
I
Thousand Year
I
Door was it could be a pretty intense game with all the badges and the things you have to do. Not intense, but like you could make it
intricate. Yeah.
intricate. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Mario
Yeah.
and Luigi right now it just feels like it's like a level of simplicity. It's just a little more simple. And I don't know
Mhm.
if it's because they're really trying to push to the younger generation, the like
Yeah.
you 30-year-olds that grew up with Nintendo, you're too old to be playing games, stop it or something, which is stupid. I
Play
don't
other
think.
games. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
I don't know.
totally not. Yeah, that's I mean, and it's a good thing that it happens with a series like Mario that is even the harder Mario RPGs, they're not the hardest games in the world, but
No.
you know what I mean?
No.
But still a little less than that. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Still a
I,
great
I get, but
game.
Nintendo does that in a lot of like Pokemon also like the tutorials in those have gotten like handholdy. There's yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that helps that they keep their games fun because even when they want to be handholdy, that you're still having a good time. You're just like you can I can figure this out, Nintendo. It's all right.
Aw.
Remember how much
It's
fun
like
you let me have with Tears of the Kingdom? If I can do that, I can do this. Just saying. But
uh,
Mario is for kids a little, so
I know.
it's tough. It's tough. It's
Mario should
tough.
grow
Maybe
up with us. Like he should
yeah,
grow up
maybe it's
with
one of those
us.
things where we should maybe learn about our own mortality and not try to
Oh
make Mario
God.
grow up with us because he's an immortal being and we're not. That's something to stew
uh,
on.
we're getting deep.
That's the in the dark part of this
That's at the
series.
end. There it is. There it
That's
is.
the in the dark mortality.
Mario, an immortal being. Mario. It's a me. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's yeah, I think we've said our piece on this
I
game
think
and
so.
Mario in general.
I think
So
so. It's my bedtime.
8 out of 10. We'll give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's
8
about
out of
mine
10.
as
Sounds
well.
good.